Everybody, Chris here from the Off-Grid Schoolie and Tiny Home Tours. Today's video features Lexi and Cody. They live and travel full-time in their Sprinter conversion van that they did themselves. Also, today's video is sponsored by Skillshare. They have skills on the road. That's how they're able to live full-time on the road. That's how I'm able to live full-time in my schoolie behind me. So down below there'll be a link to Skillshare. The first 500 people that sign up through that link will be able to have Skillshare free for 2 months. So if the mobile lifestyle is something you're considering, this is a great opportunity to get on there, see if there's something that interests you, something that piques your interest, because living this lifestyle, living the best life I possibly could. I highly suggest it. Later on in the video, Lexi and Cody are going to be talking about, basically their model, how they have skills on the road that they can provide value to people. We're actually collaborating on a project right now together, so hopefully we can get some more mobile income on the road. Hope you enjoyed the video. Catch you next week.
Hello, we are Dynamo Ultima. My name is Cody.
And my name is Lexi.
And this is our Sprinter van. It's a 2018 Mercedes Sprinter 4x4. It has dual rear wheels and it needs new tires. We wanted to get a 4x4 Sprinter because we spend a lot of time in the mountains, snowboarding and skiing, so we wanted to have traction.
Our previous van was not a 4x4 and we got stuck like 3 times, so that's why we got a 4x4 this time. We are huge fans of Star Wars. The only 4x4 we could find was white. We decided to name it after a stormtrooper.
FN210 4x4. So this is our kitchen area. We used a walnut butcher block countertop that we got from IKEA, and when we cut into it for the hole in the sink, we didn't know it was particle board. So we're like, okay, great, now we have to fix this issue. So we lined it with a brass material to keep the water out and sealed it. So far, it hasn't bubbled up or anything, but we've only been in here for a couple months, so that can change. Do have plans to replace it for real wood, but we're gonna let this kind of, let it get destroyed first and then invest in that. Fridge, we love this fridge. We had ordered a Dometic fridge that was about half the size, and I don't know, we hated it. We thought it was cheap. It was cheaply made. Couldn't really fit much stuff in it, so we went with this NovaCool, and we had the same refrigerator before, so we know we liked it. But it's pretty massive. It's 3.5 cubic feet. I think 3.5 cubic feet. So you can fit a lot of stuff in there, and it also has a freezer section, so you can freeze goods. Above the fridge, we keep an induction cooktop. So we cook off 120 volt power, but it plugs in right here. I don't feel like I need to show that. But yeah, it plugs in right there, so it's not too difficult. It's only a single burner, so that's one thing that kind of sucks. We wish it was double burner, because you have to do everything in one pot. The size of this sink is great. We really love how deep and big it is. You can really kind of get your hair wet in there if you need to, I don't know. But it's a bathroom sink. That's kind of the only weird thing about it. It's just kind of odd doing dishes in a bathroom sink because of the way the drain's set up. You can't put like a catch in it to catch all the food, and it just gets kind of gross fast. And also the porcelain, it's not protected. There's no like glossy finish, so we do have to take a magic eraser to it quite a bit to keep it white. Actually, I love that there's no corners in the sink. Like, it's all rounded down so food doesn't get stuck in the weird corners. But I would get a sink that has a protective gloss finish on it. That way it's easier to just wipe off. Our faucet, it has a retractable head, so when you're doing dishes, it's really easy. And we have 40-gallon water tank in the back that is hooked up to this, and also our water heater is hooked up to this too, so we can have hot and cold water. We didn't want to use any propane in here, just because we didn't like all the bad things that come with it, like moisture and, I don't know, dying. So we wanted to run everything off solar or a generator. So we decided to use an electric water heater just because we can just turn on the generator if we wanted hot water. The generator we have is a 2,200 watt generator, and we decided to just go with the gasoline one because it's just a generator. It's not that expensive, especially for gas. It's like $3 for gas, and then it runs all day. And I guess we could have went with diesel, but this is like the perfect solution for spices and storage in a van. It hangs up, they're all there, they're all labeled and out of the way, so you don't have to dig for them. You can just grab what you need. allspice. We go out to coffee shops a lot, and we found that we were spending way too much money. You know, it's like $5 for a cup of coffee if you get like a cappuccino or something. So we decided to just buy an espresso machine, because we have coffee every day, at least 3 cups a day for me at least. So we have this Breville espresso machine that runs off the inverter, and it uses a lot of power, so that's another thing that kind of drains our battery. Well, this just runs off the inverter, and And sometimes we have to start our van because it uses 1800 watts, and that's a lot on a 12-volt system. So we just start the van, or again, kick out the generator and start that. But it worked. I have coffee every day. And underneath we have storage, and our drain for the sink goes through this storage area. Cleaning supplies, it's really just an area for all our like pantry closet stuff, I don't know. Drawers, we have all this storage area, so we keep all our utensils in this top drawer. Again, with the brass knobs, they're great. We keep dry goods here. Storage. And then all of our pots and pans and heavier items are on the bottom. Just, I don't know why they are. The biggest drawer. Our floor is vinyl Moroccan sticker tiles. They're not great for durability, but they look cool. So they come in these 2x4 sheets, and we just kind of cut out the sheets that run down. I don't think it's gonna last the winter, but I think we're just gonna get them again and then apply a polyurethane on top of it just to keep them a little more protected. And over here, we keep all our games in here. We like to game, so we have a dedicated game closet. Yeah, our upper cabinets are nice. We only decided to put them on this side, and back here we didn't want to sleep under a cabinet. You know, when you're trying to get up, it just seems kind of claustrophobic. So we only have them going down one side of the van, again with the rose quartz knobs. And then we have a dish cabinet right here. They clink around when we're driving, but we secretly like it. Everyone always tries to give us tips on how to make it not rattle, but like it doesn't bother us at all. Our fan is a Max Air fan. I'm caught. And it has a remote, even though it's right there. Okay, so our bathroom, we wanted it in the middle to separate the living room from the bedroom. Kind of makes this kind of the feel of rooms. But it has a sliding retractable door, so it retracts into this little piece right here. And this is the shower. We don't have a shower head holder yet. We've only lived in it for 2 months. This is the shower. It's pretty much a frame, and on the inside of the frame is waterproof material, and on the outside of the frame is kind of just trim and coverings. And it also has hot and cold water. We kind of self-made these valves from garden hose valves, so you know the cold goes in one, hot goes in the other, and it mixes to the shower head. This shower that we built is all custom with zero experience of building showers, so it was a lot of YouTubing and Google searching how to make things not leak. But underneath, on the bottom, there's a shower pan, so anything that drips from the sidewalls just drips into the shower pan, so you don't really have to worry about leaks. And then above the pan is kind of this walnut flooring. Kind of makes it feel like a spa. It's a cedar flooring, and it kind of makes it feel like a spa. It kind of makes it smell nice in there because it's a bathroom, so it's a plus. And then our toilet is a Nature's Head composting toilet. We really love the toilet because it doesn't use any water. You know, it's good for the environment, and it's really easy. Doesn't stink. It's designed for a wet room in a boat, so it works great in there. We just have to drill holes on the bottom to let the water vent out. There's also a fan from the composting area that goes to the outside of the van to help with the composting process. We found this door. It's by Stow It. One of our friends who has a van also used this exact door, so we just kind of copied them. There's a light in here. It's not dimmable, but you don't really need it to be dimmable. The walls are made of kind of a PVC material, so they're completely waterproof. This is our command center. We wanted kind of a central hub for all of our electronics and just somewhere clean. So we have circuit breakers up here for AC and DC. That way you can shut it all off if you need to. Our inverter switch is here so we can turn it on without going to the back of the van. And then we have our S-bar heater control here, and also a Cymarine battery monitor, which also monitors our tank levels, how full the gray water is and how full our fresh water is, and also has some other things like temperature, barometer, and just a bunch of readings, just nerdy stuff. Yeah. And then bass control for our subwoofers, which are in the back. This is Alex's closet. I gave her the closet because she's the woman, you know. So all of her clothes are easily accessible, and all of mine are back here and very difficult to get to. So actually it's this one. And then up here it's kind of like a toiletry cabinet for beauty products and toothpaste and Q-tips and stuff. We keep our carbon monoxide detector kind of at head level I don't know if that's how it's supposed to be, but I assume that's right.
For work, we run a creative studio on the road where we brand and do websites for people, so we needed an office space in this van. It was super important. So we put this bench here with a swivel table so that it was easy for us to work on projects and get things done. The only thing about this is that we can only fit one person here at a time, so a lot of the times I'll work from bed because I like to work in bed for some reason, which is not good for my back. But yeah, we really like this setup. So we found this wood in Cody's dad's garage, and it was probably sitting in there for like 10 years, and we sanded it and finished it. It's kind of warped, but we like how it looked. And the swivel is from a company called Lagoon. They make these swiveling arms for boats, I think, so it just made sense to put it in our van. But it's really cool because you can, put the table anywhere you want. If we had swivel seats up here, then it'd be cool to like swivel around, but we don't have those yet. Something we're planning on doing is adding swivel seats because we really like to play board games. So we had 2 swivel seats here. We could set up a game here and have friends over. So this is to kind of block out the light and the heat. So we bought these blackout curtains and then sewed these on. And this track is actually from IKEA. And it took us a really long time to figure out all the parts and pieces to put it together because for some reason IKEA sells all the parts for the track separately. So that was a headache, but we figured it out, and it's pretty cool because we can kind of have it go all the way around, although it, doesn't really go around the corner very easily. But we just have it for the front here. And then on the side window, we've got this little like Velcro Reflectix piece here. Yeah, this blocks out all the light. It keeps out the heat when it's super hot because the front, we don't really have any window covers up there. And yeah, works out good. And the yellow adds some extra color in our white van. So the ceiling, we just use 1/4-inch plywood and we have furring strips underneath. So we just screwed it right in. And then we obviously covered the cracks with this trim, this trim piece, just to make it look nicer. And we also have this lighting set up here. We have lighting here and then under our cabinets here. And they're all separate so that we could turn different ones on and off. We have another light switch down there and it turns on the lights just above the office area. And then this lights up like the whole van. And we did that because we figured if one of us wanted to go to bed early and the other one wanted to work, then you could have the lights on over here without turning them all on in the van. But yeah, we really like that. So we have these strobe lights. We got these from IKEA as well. And we just like them because it makes it colorful and fun in here. Underneath all of the walls, we have foam board as insulation. And then we also sealed all the cracks with gap filler, and then on top of that we put Reflectix, and then on top of that we put the plywood. So there's a kind of like a 4-layer cake of insulation. I think the coldest weather we've been in was probably like low 40s so far, and so far it works really great. But we have a S-bar diesel heater, which is right here. It's underneath the passenger seat, so that kind of keeps us warm, and the insulation keeps the heat in here when it gets super cold. So these knobs we found at Anthropology. Unfortunately, we didn't make them ourselves, but they're like a quart, I think, rose quartz, and it's wrapped with wire. And we just liked it better than kind of like those push-in knobs that a lot of people use. And I mean, we have had issues where the cabinets come flying open and stuff comes out, but we fixed it with these little, like, I don't know what this is, like a locking mechanism. So this kind of like locks in there. So that prevents our cabinets from the stuff flying out when we go over bumpy roads. Yeah, and these are super nice because if we didn't have them, then these would be all like floppy and hard to open. So yeah, up here we kind of just have all of our books and office supplies and, art supplies, creative things. And up here we have all of our hats. We really like hats, if you can't tell by all the hats we have. And we also have our dog's toys and medicine and brush and all of his things up here. We didn't put a cushion back here just because we usually put pillows behind our back, so we didn't want to make another thing when we didn't have to. So we use the pillows for kind of back support while we're sitting there. And this window here, we actually put it in ourselves. When we first bought our van, it was cargo. It had no windows. And we actually cut like 6 different holes in our van. So yeah, we installed these ourselves, and we got these because they are T-vent windows. So they open and then you can let airflow in here, which is really great for the summer because when we have our fan on, it can like pull the air through and create really good. And we found these on Amazon. They're C.R. Lawrence windows, and pretty much everything in this van we found on Amazon. So yeah, we really like these ones. They were pretty easy to install and it wasn't as scary as you think putting in a window yourself, but you definitely need 2 people to do it. We really like this bench here and this layout just because it makes this area just kind of feel more open and like everyone can come hang out in here. Yeah, we just really like this bench area. I don't think we would change it. I think one thing we want to do is add a swivel seat, and then someone could sleep here if they could like lay all the way out if we could have a guest. We also really like having the bench over here and our bed in the back because it makes a separation between living spaces in such a small little house. So, you know, for any couple that kind of lives in a small space, it's nice to kind of like separate yourselves at times. Underneath the bench is storage. So down here we kind of have all of our office supplies, so everything we need to run our business from the road, all of our camera gear, our laptops, and all that fun stuff. We also have a dog kennel down here, and this is for our little dog named Zero. And we got him 2017 in October is when we adopted him and added him to our van. So he's kind of just grown up on the road in the van, and he really likes sitting on Cody's lap when we're driving, which isn't very safe, but he really likes it. And whenever we put him in here while we're driving for safety, he puts up a huge fit. So yeah, that's that. So we made this kind of look like a prison cell because we're evil people. We like to joke and say it's San Quentin, but that's so we can lock him in there. We put a lock on it because he's kind of still pretty young, so when we leave our van and leave him in here, he, you know, isn't going to go up to the front seat and start barking at everyone that walks by. He's going to be kind of more safe and feel secure in there while we're gone. And then one really cool thing about this dog kennel is that we installed an air conditioner in it. So underneath the van there's an air conditioning unit stored, and then there's like vents that come into the dog kennel. So I don't know if you'll be able to get that. But anyway, there's like a little air conditioner box in there. And it's super efficient and low energy and doesn't use a lot of power, so it's really great. So this is our bed area, and we bought rock climbing holds to climb up here because they felt more out of the way than like a ladder. And we also like to rock climb, so it seemed fitting. So we have a queen-sized bed, and Cody is 6 feet tall. I'm like 5'9" almost, and we sleep this way. I'll show you guys. So we sleep this way, and we both fit all the way laying because we installed these things called flares on the outside of our van. So basically we cut a hole in our van, and then we added this extra bump out area. They're not all the way finished yet. We still have to put a frame around it, but they work. And we put these little like foam right here to create some insulation because you can't really insulate these flares. And yeah, we really like it because we can sleep this way, which added for way more space in our van to, you know, put our bathroom in our kitchen and everything. So we bought those from this company called Flare Space, and they're based out of Hood River, Oregon. And basically they just fabricate these flares, and then you have to bring it to an auto body shop to get it painted to match your van. So we bought the flares, and then we brought it to an auto body shop, had them paint it, and then we installed it ourselves. You can also have an auto body shop install it, but it was about $1,200 that they quoted us, so we were like, we're just gonna do it ourselves. But it was really scary because obviously it was more holes that we were cutting in our van, and it's not like a window, it's just like you literally just kind of like glue it onto the van. So it just feels kind of weird, but they turned out really great and we really like them. This side has a window that opens up, which is really nice. It's right by our head, so if it's super hot outside, it adds some airflow by our face. What else? We only put a window on one side because when you add the window, it kind of takes away a 1/4 inch of extra space. So if we had them on both sides, that'd be like an extra 1/2 inch. And we didn't really feel like we needed 2 windows because we put a sunroof. So this is our sunroof. And it has those same pneumatic hinges so that it kind of like just pops open. This thing was a last minute addition to our van. This was before we put in our walls and everything, and we were like, well, it would be really cool if we put a sunroof over our bed. So we went on the internet, we looked for a sunroof, and this is what we came up with. So this sunroof is by a company called Dometic, and honestly I feel like this sunroof is kind of really shitty quality, and it was expensive, so I don't really recommend it that much, but overall we really like it just because it's cool to have a window above our bed. And at nighttime nighttime, if we're out in the desert and it's super dark outside, you can see all the stars. So yeah, you're sleeping under the stars inside your van, all nice and cozy. It's just kind of like cheaply built. Like, it's just plastic. It doesn't leak or anything, but like when we first got this, the cover of it was already kind of like scratched, and it just wasn't really like the greatest quality for being $700 for a sunroof. So that's the only reason why I don't really recommend it. It doesn't really give us problems, I guess. I guess one of the things that I didn't mention is it came with a sunshade, like a retractable sunshade. And before we even installed it, it was already broken. So we just ripped it out and we made our own sunshade that we just kind of like stuff up inside. But yeah, that's the main reason why we hated it, just because it broke. We didn't even put it in yet. And it adds extra light back here when we don't really have windows. A lot of people have windows in the back here, but felt like our last van had windows back there and we never opened them because we kind of like the privacy kind of like by the bed area. So because we didn't put windows back here, we decided to put speakers. And they're nice speakers and we like to bump our music and it's super fun. And the cool thing about having them on the door is that we can open the door and direct the music outside. So if we're hanging out outside, we can have it playing out there. So our mattress we just bought from Amazon. It's just a memory foam mattress topper. And then we just had to cut it to kind of like fit within our flare. So I just used a bread knife and just cut the foam. Surprisingly, foam is a lot like bread, so made it easy. And then we have a down comforter and then like a warm blanket, and that keeps us really warm at night. Yeah, we have USB ports by each side of our bed so that, you know, I can charge my watch and my phone and kind of just have our stuff right by our bed. And then we also have these reading lights that are touchscreen. They're really, really bright, so they're not really reading lights, they're just super bright spotlights.
On the roof, we have 400 watts of solar and also the fan and then the sunroof. Back here we have the dual rear wheels, which I personally like because you can load this van with weight and you don't have to worry about being overweight. We built a shore power plug so that way we can charge our batteries if we're ever somewhere stationary. So we can, if we're ever running low, we can just plug it into the grid and then charge up. The air conditioner is under here, the driver's side, and then in front of that we keep a 7-gallon gray water, which fills up pretty quick compared to our 40-gallon fresh water. So we have to empty that quite a bit. And we are planning on getting a second gray water tank for that problem. This is our garage storage area for all of our fun activities. So we like to mountain bike, so we built mountain bike racks into the van and also snowboarding racks up here. It took a million tries to get this to fit the way we wanted it to, but we finally found a way that kind of worked. The only issue is we have to take all of this stuff out to get to anything back there. There's lights here so you can light up and see what you're doing even if it's nighttime. Behind this box, we have a 40-gallon water tank and you can fill it right here from the back pretty easily, so you don't have to like bring it inside or anything. And then there's also a water gauge to tell you how full it is. Above the water tank, there's a little shelf and we keep all of our shoes there, and we have a lot of shoes. So we need a dedicated spot. On the opposite side, right here, there's two 12-inch subwoofers. So again, we like music, so why not? Beer bottle opener, just because. It's essentials, you know, essentials. And then above the subwoofers, we have more like camping storage and, you know, fun stuff storage. I don't know, our last van, it was really easy to access, but it was always in the way because it was taking up storage space. So this van, we decided to put it more in the back where it's out of the way because we don't really need to access it that much. And if we do, I can just pull the stuff out. It's not that big a deal. The battery capacity, we have two 200 amp hour batteries, but we only have 400 watts of solar charging them, which is why we have a generator and also shore power. So we have many ways to charge. Yeah, we charge the battery off solar, off a generator, off the alternator, and off the grid. So we can charge it pretty much any way we'd want. So it's not really an issue. So our bikes are mounted on these fork mounts down here. And unfortunately with the flare, we had to have a certain height that the bed could be. So I kind of had, again, it took a lot of work and moving things around, but I just screwed it into the bumper almost, whatever this is. It's not even in the trunk or the bed, I don't know. And then let's see what else is back here. Our water heater is tucked away in the back along with some more storage for things we don't really need to access that often. And on the reverse side, all of the components to our electrical system, like our battery, our inverter, our solar charger, are tucked away back there. We have a 3,000 watt inverter, which is also a charger for the shore power. All right, so to get the bikes to fit in here, we have to take the front tire off and also the outside pedals, because otherwise they would hit when you're trying to slide them in right here. So that's one thing that kind of sucks about our setup here, but it's also not that bad because you get to bring your mountain bikes everywhere with you, and they're stored inside.
Most Sprinter vans have a really crappy stock radio, stereo thing, whatever it's called. So we took that out because we hated it, and we installed this Pioneer Next Stereo Dash, which has Apple CarPlay, and if you plug in an Apple phone, you can access like Spotify and Apple Maps and all that fun stuff. And that's really cool because, you know, obviously when we're driving and traveling places, it's nice to have the navigation right there in the dash, especially because I suck at telling Cody the directions because I don't pay attention to the map. So it's nice to have that there. And our van gets about 14 miles a gallon, and that's probably because it's a 4x4. It's not the greatest gas mileage in the world. And we also have the dual rear wheels, which definitely doesn't help with gas mileage either. And the weight of our van also, so we just, you know, have to pay a lot more in gas than most people, but that's okay. It makes it worth it because it's 4x4. Yeah, it's automatic pretty much. And then the 4x4, you know, button is right here. You just put in 4x4 when you need to. We have this fake plant up here. It adds character and makes it feel like home by adding this plant. And we didn't want to put real plants because obviously they will die because I'll forget about them. We have a pin collection up here. We really like Star Wars and Disneyland and all kinds of fun things, so we added our pin collection to our headliner because we wanted to make it look less boring. So hopefully we could fill the whole thing someday, but I don't know if the pins will stay in at the ones that are up there more. Yeah, I don't know if anyone's been to Disneyland, but they have a pin collecting thing in Disneyland, so we have a lot of Disneyland pins. We don't have any kids, we're just kids at heart. We store our towels up here. We could put a shelf up here also. That's kind of like a future thing we might want to do, is add a headliner shelf. I think RB Components makes one, and it just adds extra storage, so we could put like all of our coats up there because we have them on our back of our seats right now, and it'd be nice to just kind of not have them in the way. We also have this little box here. This is just more shoe storage, so we have shoes in the back and shoes up here, and then the ones back there are like hiking boots and like running shoes. We have the subwoofer in the back, this stereo system up here, and the speakers in the back, and we also added speakers in the front, and they're on the doors on each side because the stock speakers that come with the van are not that great, and when we're driving we want to listen to good music. It makes the drive more interesting and more fun. So on the road we run 2 different businesses. Our first business is teaching people how to start an online business so that they can travel full-time and kind of live the same lifestyle as us, where you can have more freedom and not be chained to an office or a desk or whatever. And then our other business is branding and web design for small business owners.
If you'd like to find out more about the dimensions and how we built everything in our van, we're selling a van manual on our website as well, so you can check that out in the link below.
Thanks for watching our video, and we'll see you later.